good afternoon to those of you on our NSA Houston podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Presidents Around Houston. We interview presidents that are prominent for organizations to be able to, bring you value and opportunities that you might not have known about. I think you're in for a special treat. She was our director of programs last year for National Speakers Association, Houston. So everybody give it up for Wialillian. And Wialillian, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, I am Wialillian Howard, the founder and chief growth specialist at Beyond the Seat, a company that I founded back 6 years ago when I arrived here in Houston during COVID. I had to do that to keep from driving myself crazy. But here I am, and I am someone who has had 20 years in this industry across 2 municipalities. I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then I took it up to Richmond, Virginia. And then it just hit me one day, I'm ready to go down to Houston because I have a daughter here, and I want to go down there where she is. I had been visiting 3 times a year, and I realized, it's warm all the time because Charlotte and Richmond have 4 distinct seasons, and the winters were pretty brutal. But that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, and those winters in Houston will get you. They last 10 minutes, don't they? Or Snowmageddon, like a couple of years ago when it's like freezing for a whole week, the whole city of Houston shut down.
I remember. I was here.
Well, I know you and I have gotten to know each other as board members last year, and then now your role as Toastmasters president. So if you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about your chapter, what you do, and what does the organization offer, and the event that maybe some of our listeners would like to get involved.
Toastmasters is a global organization. As president, I'm still on a learning curve. We are, I think last year we had over 5,000 members. And Toastmasters, you learn at club level, which I'm a president of one of the clubs, the Greenway Plaza Toastmasters Club here in Houston. And there's learning at the club level where you get to come in, usually weekly, and you get to practice your leadership, speaking, and communication skills. Whether you're the speaker of the day, whether you're a Toastmaster, whether you're the timer, it's all practice around leadership development. And so at the international level, there are additional leadership roles, and I'm still learning them. That's how many there are. And with leadership at the international levels, it's amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch because these folks have designations that they have earned over several years. And many of them have earned them 2 or 3 times over. There's this accreditation called Distinguished Toastmaster. And many of them have 4 and 5 of them because they are deep in Toastmasters, they are committed, and the organization keeps going.
So if people wanted to get involved with your chapter or maybe a different one closer to them, what kind of things could they expect at a meeting or opportunities that are part of being a member?
Well, there are a lot of benefits. And one of the most important ones is you have a roadmap. You come to a meeting, you're onboarded, you're trained like you would any corporation, and you get to identify where you want to grow the most. And we have what we call pathways. And you get to decide, do I want to be a coach? Do I want to be a presentation master? I think it's like 12 pathways, and you can choose one and just go through your speeches. You come in every meeting, you get an opportunity to practice impromptu speaking. You get to practice your evaluation skills, which is one that I'm really working on. I want to be a master evaluator. And so club level, There's so many learnings, and then we'll assign you a mentor so that you stay on track and you're able to continue on your learning journey.
Wow, definitely setting people up for success. And I like how it's open to your choice of all these paths that you'd like to take. And then the support of a mentor, it's good support.
It is. It is. And um, you would not walk through the door and know all that goes on there. And my role as president is to get people involved, get them active, helping them to understand the benefits that are derived from being a member of Toastmasters. And it's fun. It's really an extension of what I do in my business, the kind of work I do in my business.
Yeah, yeah. And isn't it great when they overlap like that? Because you
Yeah.
get to feel good, it builds both things, and then you're also growing those skills.
Hmm.
Well, for your term as president, any strategy that you're targeting this semester? I think it's this 6 months, right? They change their reopen every 6 months. What's your strategy that you're bringing into the chapter and helping it grow?
One of the things that is very near and dear to me is making sure that people are clear about all of the benefits of Toastmasters and how they can grow, because the skills are transferable back to the workplace and life, and just getting people to step out of their comfort zone. Because we find people will come and they all want to be the timer and the counter and all that. But the real growth is in prepared speeches. And so just helping them to step over that threshold of saying, I'm going to try.
I think that's a great way to bring in the right people too by showing what you offer and what you help others with. As we're thinking about how we collaborate, because NSA Houston is very much still on the path of collaborating with organizations to bring other members and our own a lot of value, as you know, because you were on the board last year with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about how do you think our chapters can collaborate or offer opportunities in case somebody's looking for them?
I've given this a thought because I think there is an opportunity for us to collaborate. I see us as the training ground when it comes to uh, professional speaking development. I see you all as I see NSA as the launch pad.
Mm,
And so if there are ways that we can bring the training ground and the launch pad together, I think there's a great opportunity there. I think that we have to become known to each other. Because if I were to ask folks sitting around the table, do you know anything about NSA? They probably wouldn't even know what the acronym means.
right. It's not the Security Alliance. If you Google it, that's the first thing that pops up.
And so I think that we have to become better known to one another. I think if there are opportunities for you all to help us with our mentoring, because you know how to overcome those deficiencies, I think anytime we can collaborate on events or conferences or summits, I think that's an opportunity for us to come together. But I think the biggest one is to make sure that we're communicating with one another and understanding needs at the club level so that we'll know exactly where to meet people at their needs. Because there's a person in the club that talks about being a coach, about being a speaker, and NSA would be that next step to getting closer to that goal.
Yeah, I love what you're saying about how, well, I've always thought that we work in tandem. And in our February competition for storytelling, as you know, that's where people get 5-minute stories and then the winner gets to move on to regionals and then national. And I saw the 3 national speakers at the conference in July. They were incredible and they were in front of a huge audience, and the stories were very different from each other. There's 3 of them. But when I think about Toastmasters, I think there's so much opportunity for if it's you want to practice, Toastmasters is a great place. If you need business acumen or how to set up a CRM or run your business, if you're a coach, a trainer, a speaker, then NSA has a lot of tools. So I agree with you. I've always thought we have a lot to offer each other. It just takes the right team to see that, to say, where else can we go? Because if you're getting really good skills in Toastmasters and you're doing such a great job and you're achieving, those 12 paths, where else can you add value? And NSA Houston could be another place.
Well, you just said something to me that I hadn't even thought about in our conversation. It's the storytelling competition.
You just thought about that? Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of.
The storytelling competition is a great opportunity for us to start looking at now.
Yeah.
As we introduce NSA and introduce NSA and Toastmasters, and that could be one of the gems. That could be a goal that folks can start working towards. And I think that's a great one. But I really want us to become better known to each other as organizations.
Yeah, I agree. Well, how about this? How about we start talking? I'll go talk to our president now, Beth Rohani, and see what she would like to do as forward steps or how to reach out if it's a director of programs from our side. And then who would it be on your side we should reach out to?
Well, Mark Aldrich is our new area director. He is the person who has oversight of about 6 clubs. And so what we can do is sit down and talk with him and see how we might be able to move forward. Because I think there's an opportunity. Was it you that was telling me that there were some Toastmasters that you had met or someone had met in the NSA organization?
There were, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say they're in it, but I know at the national level that the National Toastmasters and National NSA are collaborating. And then I know there's a lot of chapters across Houston. So there's a lot of opportunity there, especially with the storytelling. And for those of you listening that are saying, what is this storytelling? It's a competition where you get 5 minutes to tell a story. It happens in February, and it's the whole meeting for the NSA meeting is you get to come and listen to people tell stories. And then there's judges, and then there's criteria to vote on. And so it's open. So lots of people join, and we have a great competition seeing them back to back. So Wialillian, let's put that on our to-do list so that we can explore, because February is coming. It's already October.
I cannot believe how it's already October.
And then this will air November 1st in our newsletter to everyone. And so I think if you're listening and you're thinking, the storytelling sounds interesting, let me know. Our whole team can let you inform you. Wialillian also can, because she was at the head of that group last year. And then if you're looking for practice, Toastmasters is a great way to get involved, structure a good talk, tell a great story, and have a great lesson at the end. Wialillian, anything else we should share or chat about between our chapters, or anything else we haven't thought of?
Well, I started talking about my move here. I didn't talk a lot about Beyond the Seat.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear about your company, because, as you know, part of our presidents across Houston are making an impact. And so, yeah, feel free to share.
Well, Beyond the Seat is a learning and development organization for C-suite and mid-level leaders. I love the company. I love what I do, because what I love seeing is those engagements where leaders start to say, well, I hadn't thought about that. I didn't realize how important that was. And in these times that we're working in right now, the climate is so uncertain. The work climate is so uncertain, and people are nervous. And one of the things that I've done differently in the last year or so is to work more closely with senior leaders to help them to understand about how employees are feeling. And I'm asking senior leaders in our coaching engagements, walk the halls. Walk the halls and communicate with staff. Staff has always said, I want to understand the why. And now staff is saying, I want to know the why, but I also want to know why it matters. And so being able to tell that story to staff in a way that they understand it and embrace it. When leaders do that well, and we help them every step of the way, when they do that, then they're going to see much higher retention and they're going to see happier employees.
And they lead beyond the seat.
And they lead beyond the seat because they land in the leadership seats, but we keep them there.
There you go. Well, I think it's such a great example of tenacity, ambition, and following a calling that you're doing, because you and I have had coaching sessions together. You and I have seen each other at our NSA meetings, and there's so much that we're giving back to Houston. So if you're listening, feel free to follow Wialillian Howard on social media and her company Beyond the Seat. She is active out and about making an impact, and in addition to her role at Toastmasters. Wialillian, as we're coming to a close, this is my favorite question to ask. What is a special talent that might not be known by a lot of people that you have?
I don't know if it's a talent.
That's okay. It could be a fact. Could be a fun fact.
It's a fun fact.
I can't wait.
Because I had to think about this one. And I said, what do I do that folks don't know about? Well, I tell you, my day starts at my desk at 8 o'clock in the morning. I try my best, and this was coaching advice from years ago. Shut it down between 5 and 5:30. And so after I shut down this office, I'm looking for fun stuff to do. So by the time I'm ready to jump in bed, this is what I do.
Okay.
Don't tell anybody.
Okay, no one.
I'm a TikTok queen. And I'm looking for comedians on TikTok.
Okay, I thought you're posting on TikTok and I want to see all these dances you do, but we're watching comedians.
I'm watching comedians because I need to laugh. After a full work day, I need to laugh. I need to wind down. I need to relax. So I am lying in bed laughing out loud with these comedians. And then I wind down and I have a peaceful night's sleep. And that's something that folks don't know about me, because to be on TikTok, yeah, they don't know that. They didn't know that about me until I told you.
Wialillian, thank you so much for sharing your energy and your happiness on our podcast today, and for representing both your company and Toastmasters. To our audience, tune in next time as we are continuing the exploration to collaborate with more presidents across Houston. If we can bring you more opportunities, open more doors and possibilities to you, that's what we're all about. Because when we work together, together we rise. Thanks, Wialillian, and thank you to our audience. Tune in next time for another episode with another president as we really work together.
Thank you, Megan.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, everyone.